Hey, I'm Brian from Big Shop Cycles. Hey, you remember last weekend I did my video on the ignition system? Well, as usual, after I review the video, there's something in that video that I want to go over a little bit more with you. And what I want to talk about was your spark plugs. Okay, I showed you how to set the gap and everything, but I'm kind of far away from the camera, so I thought I would draw a big picture like this. This is your spark plug. And I told you that you got to check the spark plug gap. The gap is between here and here. That's where your spark is going to happen. Now, from your bike heating up and cooling down, this here arm here can move around like this. And if it gets too far away from that, it can make a weak spark. Sometimes they can get bent down too much, which is going to mess with your spark too. And you just got to set the gap. And a lot of times, your spark plug may look like this one, this real dirty one. But before you set your gap, if it looks dirty like that, what you want to do is take a piece of 400 grit or 600 grit or 1200 grit wet paper, and you want to just pass it in between there and try to sand the carbon off of that part there and rub it on the bottom of that arm there and try to get some carbon off of it. It's really simple. And then, like I said, you got to get some feeler gauges. Okay, these are important. These are all feeler gauges. And my sporty is the gap is supposed to be 38 thousandths to 48 thousandths. So I like to choose something in the middle. I choose 40 thousandths. All you want to do is take this and try to slip it in there. Okay, if it doesn't go in between that bottom part of the spark plug and this arm here, you got to open it up to get it right. What I usually do, I usually grab a pair of pliers and I put it on top there and I kind of like tweak it back a little bit. I only got to move it like a couple thousandths. And as usual, I'm bigger than I need. Look at that, it slips in no problem. Just too much. But what I do to rectify that is, I just grab a vise or some hard metal surface and I'm going to tap it on here. Tap a little bit. It'll bend down. It'll bend down. And look at that. I did it too much. So I got to tweak it back up again. I got to move it back up just a little bit to see what it looks like now. Ooh, that feels better, but it's still too tight. You don't want to be too tight, but you want a real nice slight drag on it. Real nice slight drag. Okay, now it's too big again. Sometimes you go back and forth, but you got to get this. Okay, now it's right. Now there's just a real slight drag when I put that 40,000 spacer in there. Okay, you need to do that because that might be one of the reasons your bike is not starting up, but it might not be. Like I said, you got to have a weak battery, and your battery strength has to do with every system on the bike. And it has something to do with that spark in the middle there. If your battery's weak, you're going to get a super weak spark. But like I said, if you got a filthy, dirty looking spark plug like that, you need to get the carbon off it. You may need a new spark plug. But that's just one of the tips I want to tell you about. I want to go into more depth about it. Okay, that's it. I'm good for this week. We'll see you on Saturday again where we're going to talk about the electrical system. I'll see you then. Later.